Here are the 5 different high yield savings account buckets that I typically use as a financially responsible 26-year-old with over $100,000 saved and invested. So first, I have my emergency fund. This is where I keep 6 months of living expenses, and I make sure to only pull from this in emergencies, whether that be a car issue, a vet bill, or a job layoff. This is going to protect me and making sure that I'm able to live until I find a new job. The next bucket that I use is my bills account. So this is unique, and I don't see a lot of creators talk about this type of account or bucket, but what I like to do in this account is make sure that I deposit on an automatic monthly basis things that come out on a 6 month or yearly basis. So for example, these things right now for me are my taxes from any side hustles that I do. So obviously you get paid gross for this, and I want to make sure that I set aside 30% for taxes. And I don't want to put this in my emergency fund because then you're just going to get confused on what money is what. So I put this in my bills account, and then I know at the end of the year I'm able to have that money set aside for taxes already without having the huge burden. The other two things that I save in this bills account, I like to call it, is my car insurance, which comes out on a 6 month basis. Lastly, what I put in this account is my credit card annual fees. So for example, on my previous video, I talked about how I use the Amex Gold currently. And I want to make sure that once that renews on a yearly basis, I don't get hit with a huge $300 fee. So what I do is I set aside $27 per month in an automatic transfer into that account. So when it renews the following year, I'm not hit with that huge fee. The third bucket that I use is my just general savings account. This is also like my buffer, for example. So let's say, for example, on a monthly basis, I ended up having some company over and I spent $100 more on my typical grocery budget of $400. To make sure that my checking account stays around where it was the previous month, I'll withdraw from this general savings account and make sure that I'm clear for going over budget in that category. I typically only keep $500 to $1,000 in this account as it's only meant to just be a buffer and not so much any type of saving strategy. The fourth sinking fund that I have in my account is my travel account. So this is where I deposit a very small amount on a monthly basis, but this is going to keep me covered for any type of flights or hotels that I might have to pay for throughout the year. Oftentimes I will use my credit card points for this, but there might be some cases where there may be some fees that have to come out. So that's when I'll use this for that. Additionally, if I'm traveling and I end up doing something rather expensive on this trip, that's also where this money will come from. I'll take it from this account. What this is going to allow me to do is not infringe in what my normal monthly spending is. So I'm able to enjoy that travel or vacation completely stress free. The fifth and final account that I have in my high yield savings account is my gifting/holiday fund. I'll set aside some money here on a monthly basis to make sure that when birthdays or holidays like Christmas come around, that I have some money set aside to buy some gifts for people. This goes back to my previous point about how one-time transactions throughout the year don't end up messing me up on a monthly basis because I'm able to set aside those expenses small throughout the year.